Good morning, everyone in Facebook Live and here in the Zoom meeting. This morning, 20th of June, 2021, we have the presence of our good friend from Ecuador, Edison Santa Cruz. Thank you so much, Lucin Preciado, Acosta Yela, Evelyn, Erazo Melendez, Manuel, Campoverde, Castro, Tatiana in Ecuador. I guess you are students, so thank you very much for your presence today. And thank you, Raj, in Canada. What time is in Canada today, Raj?
7:30.
7:30. Okay, here in Peru and Ecuador is 9:33.
9:30.
Okay, let me share my screen to present some info before Edison starts speaking. So maybe Edison, could you help me with the people who are coming in, please?
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
okay, today is Father's Day, so Raj, you are the best one to read.
Oh, okay. To all the fathers, a father doesn't tell you that he loves you. He shows you. Beautiful. I love it. You know,
I love that.
They say it's what you do.
Yeah, me too. So if your father never shows,
yeah, then we don't learn.
Okay, Lucin, could you help me with the next quote, please, Lucin Preciado?
Right. The best fathers have the softest, sweetest hearts. In other words, great dads are real marshmallows.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh,
wow.
So we are marshmallows, but in different flavors.
Yeah, darker ones.
And colors and sizes.
Yes, I said darker ones.
and the last one, Edison.
Okay, the quality of a father can be seen in the goals, dreams, and aspirations he sets not only for himself, but for his family.
Right.
So, yeah, that's exactly how you feel when you have children.
Yeah, right. And then we learn to be what we didn't know. So who is coming the rest of this June and July? Well, in July, we are going to have Monica Mulholland from Argentina. She's a yoga instructor. She's a emotional intelligence teacher. She's also a teacher and everything else. So she will be as good as today with Edison. And then we will have our first round table with the new generation of English language teacher. I'm sure this will be a great meeting because we will have young people, young blood, and new ideas and beliefs with these beautiful ladies from Costa Rica, Ecuador, Panama, Mexico, Argentina, Guatemala, Peru, and Bolivia. And finally, in July, we will have Grazia Trantini from Italy, who lives in Ecuador also. Okay, so this morning, as I said, we have the presence of our friend Edison Santa Cruz. Let me say a few words about him. Edison Santa Cruz Bastidas holds a BA degree in applied linguistics in teaching and a master's degree in university teaching and research from Pontificia Universidad Católica del Ecuador. Edison has been an English instructor, facilitator, and a professor in private schools and universities for over 30 years. He was in charge of dual immersion program for Jesuit universities in Ecuador and in the USA for 10 years. At present, he continues teaching EFL at Universidad Central del Ecuador. So welcome, dear Edison, and thank you very much for your time, especially on a days like this when it's Father's Day, and we should be resting, relaxing. But this is us. We love what we do, right?
Yeah, and I think thank you, Jaime, and I think what you did was on purpose, okay? It was a dad talking about things. And yeah, most of the times parents don't speak much in our homes. But in classes, we can, and we have to. Okay, so thank you. And this is as the topic of this talk is revisiting, because I know that some of the activities we are going to work with today are already things that we have already used, we are using on a daily basis. So, and then that's why I said revisiting, because I don't want to teach. I know that many of the things you do during classes are going to be reflected here, but what I'm going to do is some ideas to work with it, because you can work with rubrics. The way you grade and everything is up to you. I cannot tell you what to do with how you grade or what you do with your students, but activities that you can do, right? Oh, right.
Okay. Let me welcome Luis Bermudez in Ecuador. Hello, Luis Bermudez.
Hi everyone. Hello. I'm sorry for the background noise. My neighbors believe it's music.
Don't worry.
Noise. But
hello,
it's
Mary. Okay, don't worry. Hello, Mary Scholl.
Mary.
Hello, Mary Scholl.
Mary Scholl, yeah, I met her.
We haven't seen you for a long time. Where have you been hiding? Where have you been hiding?
Oh, it's been a busy, crazy world, and usually Sundays are kind of filled, but today I realized I had time, so I'm super excited to learn with you all today.
Great.
Right, and as I was saying, it's not about teaching, but ideas that you can work with, because as you have your own ways of teaching. So what I'm going to do is to start working with this. Okay, so can I start?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. So this is about revisiting speaking activities. And as I said before, I would like to talk about things we can do. And as we don't have a big group, so I think we are going to work together, and then maybe we can enrich. So feel free, this is a speaking, so feel free to jump in. And sometimes I'm gonna ask your help, Jaime, to assign people to speak. You assign the person. Yeah, okay.
There will be a prize for the people who participate the most. A free ticket from their country to Machu Picchu.
All paid.
Yeah, everything included.
Yeah, then you have this. And then, so this is about things. And as a whole, and then we have speaking as a whole, I found these ideas. It says, what promotes more thinking, a closed door or an open window, in terms of when we require students to speak or do things, what is something we need to include, right? And then, but then one of the things that we need to ask from a student is to be creative. But how can they be creative if we don't teach them how to be them? One of those creative people, and then we have those in. Sorry, this is.
And what is the answer, Edison, for what promotes more thinking, a closed door or an open window?
I don't know what, I really don't know. I don't know. Because a closed door can be more intriguing than an open window. Because in an open window, you can see beyond that. But
yeah, that's true. That's true.
A closed door can be different. It can be, what can it be? Maybe it promotes more thinking and more ideas. So that it's I think I don't have the correct answer. And that's what the students are also going to tell you. I don't know the answer because it depends on many other things. And then also that something that I heard recently is life is lived twice. First as an experience and then as a story. Somebody said, it was on one of these webinars. One good thing about the pandemic is that it has allowed us to find people from all over the world being as generous as only English teachers can be. They share what they know, they share what they need, they share many things. So one of those was this kind of, one of those experiences, right? And then I heard this or read or listened as life is lived twice, first as an experience, and you're living it. And then when you tell about it, it is a story. So you live it twice.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, then, so, but we have to start with topics like why students do not speak in class. And these are some of the reasons. And then can somebody help me? Or you, Jaime, can you help me reading the first three?
Of course, it is easier to speak my own language, that is Spanish.
Yeah, that's Rush.
The teacher always corrects me when I'm saying something. Oh yeah, that's a real stopper.
Yeah.
Me next.
Yeah. Luis.
I don't want to make a mistake in front of the whole class.
Yeah, that they are afraid of the ridicule, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is, and then
it's peer pressure. It's peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
It's called peer pressure, right?
Yeah, and it's very hard to defeat. Okay, right. Then the teacher doesn't motivate me to speak English. Somebody else, Lucine or Diana?
Of course, I can't say what I want to say in English, so I need to use my own language.
That's another idea, right? Dianita?
The teacher can hear me anyway. Why should I bother?
Yeah, you see? Another reason. Rachel, can you help us?
I have no reason for learning English, so trying to speak it is a waste of time.
Yeah, please, Mr. Caballero, I don't know.
Mr. Gentleman.
The last one?
No, Mr. Caballero.
He was raising his hand, so
no.
That's what.
So what about student Marisol?
Yeah.
I don't want to practice speaking English with people who speak my language.
Yeah. It's similar to another one we used. So, and these are the reasons we have to face every single day, especially in crowded classes with the students who just have a few hours a week of English. So they don't see the importance of learning English because of these reasons and many other reasons. So that is one problem we need to address. But we have to tell to realize why it is important to speak in English, because they need to do things like this to improve, because speaking improves students' communicative skills. It encourages students to utilize language in real life situations. It teaches social and cultural rules in communicative situations to do what? To talk about themselves, to do about their families, their surroundings, their issues related to studies, or in case of adults or young adults, to issues related to professional development. So we need to develop and design classes that are meaningful to them, right? And that is one of the things we need to, aspects we need to develop and we need to take to bear in mind carefully. And then we need to do this other actions, to take these actions in order to teach and work with these other skills and soft skills and functions, like how to respond and initiate, how to use something accurately, how to become fluent in that, and making sure that, telling them that fluency is not speed, and how appropriate the words they use were, to know how to take turns, to use a range of words and grammar that is registered, the repertoire each one of them has, and also to make it more clear or clearer, using Discord markers, and sometimes to repeat and repair and repeat what they have said. So this is speaking is not only come and talk and then let's see what you can do. Okay, so it is about all these other things. So if we start with, as I said, this is a compilation of works from different sources. but some of them are from my own experience, but others were taken from different workshops I've attended during these pandemic times, right? So for young children, you could use this as a break, brain break, but also for them to speak. So can you find something to match the descriptions below? For example, something soft, and tell me. Show me.
Something soft.
Uh-huh.
The ocean?
No. From your in the place where you are.
Ah, my soft skills.
Yeah, something else, something around you that is soft.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Welcome.
Manuel.
Okay. Maybe I don't know, my bed.
Yeah. Or something like, yeah, your mask.
My mask.
Yes. And then you can make, yeah, that, and it works with all ages, right? Something that you use every day.
Soft, right. That's my napkin.
Your napkin.
Mary, your cell phone?
My cell phone.
Is it soft?
Your cell phone. Is it? No, something you use every day.
Ah, I'm sorry. Oh. I'm lost.
That's okay. My coffee mug.
Your coffee mug, yeah.
My heart.
And then you can ask the students to your
my
computer. Heart. My heart. Your glasses. Something that makes you happy.
These meetings.
Yeah, you can. Something. Your children. Okay, I think there are some people waiting to get in.
Okay, I'll do it.
Place there are seven people.
Okay, I'll do it.
Something red around you.
Red.
A box.
Yeah, show me. You can ask your students to show it. Okay, so that is one thing we could do. Okay, and then something bigger than your hand.
My head.
I was thinking the same thing. And yeah, and then you can do these activities with like younger, or it helps even with older students. So you can apply these things to many other levels and ages. Something is smooth, something with numbers, could be your cell phone or something with numbers around you, okay? Or to end up with something with 3 colors in it, and then that is, students can talk about that. And then this is a good one icebreaker or warm up for students, and also a brain breaker if you want to change from one activity into another, and then so you can use this. Okay, so that is one thing. It is a show, some sort of show and tell with activities that you can and things that you can easily find around, and also you can have your students walk around and they are not just sitting in front of a computer. Okay, so that is one thing. Another is, this is just to reinforce that speech is the best introduction to other language learning skills. Learning through speaking is a natural way of acquiring a foreign language. It enables the teacher to use the class time economically. And so those are things that we have to consider when we are teaching and practicing speaking, okay? So questions are the path to learning, and the best thing for making people talk is asking questions. Some key questions, and then What question would you ask to figure out the real me? Or what questions could be 5? That's what I have, high 5.
What question would you ask to figure out the real me?
Yeah, what questions would you ask me?
What are 3 things you do before you go to bed?
Oh, right. And then I have a cup of coffee.
Oh.
Even though it's evening, I drink coffee at night. And in the evening, I brush my teeth, then I watch any of these CSI serious things.
Thanks, Hudson. I love it. I love learning about you.
Yeah.
if you could be an animal, Edison, which one would you be and why?
I would like to be a cat.
A cat?
They don't care about much. They just need to be fed and and rubbed and caressed, and then that's it.
And they are said to have 7 lives.
Yeah, but not because of the lives. It's the life they have, the life they lead more.
Yeah.
Another question?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite music?
All right, and then my teaching is eclectic. My music is eclectic. So I listen to all kinds of music, actually. The only music I don't listen to is chicha and I remember I don't no some that is I dance reggaeton, but I don't listen. I try not to listen the lyrics. I listen to the rhythm. I dance to the rhythm, but not. But anyway, I like it. And bachata. The bad bachata, because there is a good bachata. Bad bachata and chicha, that is something that I don't like. But all the rest, I listen all the time.
May I make another question now?
Of course, Eraso.
Of course.
If you were a millionaire, what will be the first thing you buy?
Okay. I really don't want to become a millionaire. I know what I have, and I know what I can do with what I have. So I really don't know what would I do if I had $1 million. That would be.
So then what about $10 then?
With $10, I could buy some magazine or something to read, or I would buy something to eat, but not exactly. No, money is important, very important, but not the essential thing. Yeah, and then you can ask 5 things you should know about me, and then I'm going to show something else, or what is your most valuable possession, some things that can tell you what you can tell something about you and your personality, right? Okay, and most of us, we would say our families, because as I said, money is important, but it's very important actually, but not the main thing. But when you talk about valuable possessions, you don't have to use these boring verbs or adjectives. So you don't have to use have, like, nice, good, or interesting, because they don't say much. They are vague. They don't provoke. They don't foster learning the language as we want our students to do. Okay, so somebody who dares to talk about possessions, but without using these boring verbs or adjectives.
Then what's your most valuable possession, Edison? I'm not using any of the verbs or words that you suggest not using there.
Pato, you are yeah, this is Patricio, my 25-year-long friend. And then I know you would jump to. Right, something that belongs to my heart is my family, because they make life. What? Happy to be lived with. They make me feel complete, full, whole, actually. And I think something that I appreciate is being myself. I don't belong to a given class, and then so being different makes me love myself.
Right.
Thank you, Pat.
Great, thank you. Okay, no, thank you. Interesting.
Yeah, and then
okay, I have one for you, Eddie.
Diana Castillo.
No. The idea is that you have to say that. It's not you're interrupting me. The idea is I am the teacher. This is a workshop.
I got it wrong. I thought we have to ask you.
In a workshop, you work, I teach. So, anyone?
About the most valuable possession.
No, right. It's about you. You have to answer. And then, but in this case, what I did,
I can give you an answer.
Because I have many activities. Yes, Mary?
I appreciate breathing.
Yeah, good. That's it.
I appreciate breathing.
Yeah, and in Costa Rica, it will be great. Better than in other countries.
So it's my best.
Yeah, improved breathing. Yeah, and then, but you can also ask students to find important words, or 5 words that identify them, that help them make them feel whole, right? And in this case, the 5 things I can say are part of myself is my family, music, soccer, teaching, and travel. I could say that in that order, actually. Or I could try teaching with music, but not so much, not much these days.
Edison,
right? So, yes.
Just have a comment about these words that you just talked about: have, like, nice, good, interesting. It seems that there's some limit to what I can share when I have to say about like or interesting, or you have to only stay in this frame. There's a certain limit. If we don't use those words, there's more openness for what is possible in the conversation.
Yeah, because these 5 words limit ourselves.
Yes.
It's so we want to do the opposite.
Yeah, so we want more openness and more conversation that increases each other's knowledge. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to have with my students one exercise said, I went to a nice school in a nice part of the country where all our teachers were nice and the subjects were nicely taught. So you have to change nice with other adjectives or adverbs, and then the students have to work with more vocabulary, and that's the idea. Because if everything is nice, nothing is more than nice.
And then we don't learn what nice really means.
Yeah, thank you, Rich, for that. Yeah, and that's, I said same as I like it because I like it, and I sort of like it, and something. There should be something else. I love, I appreciate, I enjoy, many other things. Okay. I keep repeating things, and that's one of my biggest problems. All right. So these are my 5 important words. So you can ask your students to write about their 5 important words. And actually, my students have asked me about 8 or 10 words. So, okay, if they are important, tell me. If they are more, great. So that's why I have to use these 5 words. And then they have to explain why. Because my family, because things I have said, music, because all my life I have been surrounded by music, not because I play or an instrument or I sing, but because that was the environment where I grew up. And then I grew up in, and that's what my father and mother used to do. They were cooking, washing doing the washing, working in the carpentry, doing anything, but they were working with music. We didn't have TV until I was 18 years old. So we were just surrounded by music and sounds, and that's why. And then many other, you can ask students to explain their 5 important words. Does anybody want to tell what they're important, just the words they consider important? Can you please share?
Maybe job, life, health, company.
Yeah.
I don't know, children, I guess.
Children, yeah. Children, yeah.
The future.
That's what I said, the family. Thank you, Pat. And somebody else?
Family, job, good friends. Mental stability sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. And what else? Life.
In general. Yeah, right. And then that could be. So you can ask students to do the same and ask why. They have to explain why these 5 words are important, why they mean to them. And so anybody else? We still have one hour to do this.
Okay, so education, health, love, discipline, family,
yeah,
and economic resources.
Yeah, thank you, Juan. All right. And you have to explain later why. Okay, that is the idea. Is okay. This part, one important thing is that you have to model these things. So you say, okay, guys, these are my 5 important words. These are words that mean a lot to me. So, and then you do the same activity with them, you present it, and then you ask from them to do something similar, right? So, because you cannot ask your students to do something that you are not able to do. So that is, well, okay. Jaime, your 5 important words?
I've been thinking of that. And it's hard to choose, but I would say just like you, family, music, traveling, eating, and singing.
Singing, I know. But singing is part of music or what anyway?
Well, so then singing and dancing.
Yeah. Yes, good. All right, so, and that's good because eating is also important. And my children have taught me to eat better. And that's one thing I learned. Because, yeah, that's good because I didn't have much of a taste. So they are educating me in eating better. Okay, so, but you can also ask them to talk about their families, their parents, and then you can ask them to interview an older generation and to practice, for example, used to. And this is a photo of my family when I was 10 or 11. And this is me, the one here, the second to the left. And we were in this monument that we used to have, the small one, because now we have a bigger one. But this is something we used to do with, okay, my parents, we never had a home or a car of our own, but we had somebody who would take us, and this was Mr. Luis Hidalgo. And then we used to do that. But you can ask students to interview a father or a grandfather or an uncle, and you can ask, what did you used to do when you were 10, 12? What did you used to wear when you were a teenager? What did you used to eat? Or how did your parents used to punish you? What were the consequences you had when you did this? And then So when you, in this case, you are using the narrative tenses, but also you are including the student's experience and the family's experiences, so we can work better with students, and then you get to know them, because one of the important things is that they don't know who Peter is, they don't know who Joe is, they don't know who any of these names we find in the textbooks are, who they are. So they are talking about themselves, they are talking about their families, and then when you personalize the experience, maybe you are going to get better results. Okay, so in this case, this is about me. They have to show a picture of one of long ago, one of their families or somebody they admire, and then they can talk about it, and you can make it. This is an interview, so you translanguage this, and I say you can use those questions in Spanish because your relatives don't speak English, but the answers, the presentation should be in English. So you're translanguaging, and that is something important you can do. So show and tell, but using narrative tenses, but with real people. Right, and that is something we can practice with our students as well. So look, there are lots of children, not just 5 adults, but then we have my cousins, my siblings, the children of our neighbor, and so it's lots of people there, and you can take a lot from this kind of pictures. And you use narrative tenses as well. As I said, and you live your life twice. Yeah, if you think you don't have many topics, or students say you don't have topics to discuss, to talk about, you can ask the students to provide a topic by using their initials. For example, why your name and a topic you'd like to discuss or present or talk about. With this, for example, Andres could talk about anxiety and exams. And Xavier could talk about xylophones or xenophobia or something. Xavier could do that, but a topic in general. Okay, Jaime, what would your topic would be with J?
If my name starts with a J, I guess it would be justice.
Justice,
yeah,
yes.
definitely. Something that is not being respected recently in my country because of the presidential elections. We are going through very difficult times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you can talk about jealousy.
You don't want to hear.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah, so in this case, please feel free to jump in and talk.
Mary, Luis, Raj, Juan,
Patricio, Juan,
Manuel, Patricio, Manuel. Diana, Castillo.
Listening to others. I mean, I'm Luis. I'm Luis.
Listening to others.
Listening to others.
Okay, listen to us, Luis, then.
I am.
Thank you.
I'd like to discuss politics.
Yeah, but if we start with R, something related to politics.
Oh, has to start with R?
Yeah, according to the first letter of your name, Raj.
Okay, I missed that part of the instructions, so I'll say respect.
Respect and politics.
Yeah, exactly. Respect
in politics.
In politics, yes.
Yes, that could be, yeah. So it begins with the first letter of your name. And then something
Anyone else? Diana, Juan, Cynthia, Marta.
Patricio.
I'm Mary, so I'd love to talk about mangoes.
Mangoes?
All different kinds of mangoes. How wonderful mangoes are.
What color? Yellow, green,
different ways of
red?
Cooking mangoes.
Yeah.
The spiritual meaning of mangoes.
Yeah, right. Mangoes. Yeah, that would be a great topic too. There was an article in the Reader's Digest 2 months ago, I think, and it was interesting to know the story of mangoes and Good. So that is one idea. So you get the topics from your students. It's not only you who are imposing the topics, and you are not the ones who is setting the things they have to discuss. And sometimes they are going to help you get out of the textbook, of these chains. That's something that makes you just have to do this, and you cannot talk or write or teach about some other things. But if they come from students, then you can use them, and students will feel valued, and that their opinions are valid, right? So that is another idea we can get from this exercise.
Edison, I have a question. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
Okay, listen, I love this activity. Probably I'm gonna steal it from you, as I do most of the time, since I attend this webinar. No kidding. But surely there are topics that probably are like too, maybe that they shouldn't be covered in class because of perhaps, how people are. Are there topics that you probably would advise against, to be used in class?
I wouldn't talk about sex. It depends sometimes of the audience you have, and also if you in younger students you cannot. Okay, you have to follow the restrictions the committees, the boards have set up, so you cannot go against that. But with adults, I think you can tell, okay, but everything should be treated with respect, and you should show empathy and things that promote good a good environment. But it depends many things in life. Everything in life depends on something else. So in this case, you could say topics like this are not, or we can discuss this in private, but not as a class. Can you think of some other topic? Yeah, because sometimes the person who proposes a controversial one could be the person who doesn't have the abilities to do that. So it could backfire. So that is it. So then you say no. And also because it depends on your topic. If you say, we're going to see some other examples for younger ages. But in this case, I teach young adults. I've taught young adults for 23 years now. So the first 10 years I taught primary and high school and secondary school. But then, so that's why most of my topics are related to these levels of these ages. But with younger ages, younger people, you can choose some other topics. And they will have the language for those topics, not for something different.
Edison, I'm appreciating that you want to let them know that that is of interest to them and that this may not be best to discuss in the class. So yeah, because we want to acknowledge that they're interested and they're offering that topic.
Yeah, but and then you can tell them, but we can discuss about that in Spanish.
Yes.
And somewhere else why don't we go to the the advisor office, and then let's discuss, because sometimes maybe there is something behind that.
That's right.
Proposed topic.
Yeah.
Then, in fact, that happened with one university student, a young lady, and what she wanted to discuss was abuse, physical abuse. And then, so after some talking, and then we discovered something like 10 years ago, but it was because I used this long ago. So there is something. So sometimes in among the topics students propose, there are something. There is always a reason or some kind of reason, not always, but there is something you have to pay attention to. So you have this part, many of you may have used them, it's impromptu speeches, and these are the instructions. So you present a series of topics or questions you want to discuss. Next, can anybody help me read?
Yeah, somebody, please. Anyone?
May I?
Please.
Yeah, the first one, right?
The second one.
The second one. Choose a student randomly assign a topic or question.
Yeah, so you have a series of topics.
The student has to answer about the assigned issue for a whole minute. Once he or she finishes, assign another topic question to a different student.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, so that is the idea, right? So they have to improvise. They have to start talking as soon as they are assigned the topic for a whole minute. And then you can teach them to use these fillers like, well, like things like that. They can use those fillers, but also they need to learn how to work with a whole minute without interruptions. And you value how many sentences in total they spoke, how fluent they were, how accurate but you don't grade these things. You just ask them to do this because as practice. You can't grade the improvisation, right? So I'm going to show you some topics and questions first. And then I want, Jaime, you can see who is attending and you can assign the person. So first the topic.
Okay. Cynthia, Priscilla?
Yes.
Yeah,
could you please answer the first question on 3, on 1, on 2, 3, go.
So the question is, when do kids become adults? I believe that kids become adults when they experience life as it is, and when their negative or positive experiences accumulate or like add to their lives as a significant learning experience more than just something that happened to them. So
okay,
to me, it's more based about experience.
Yeah, thank you, Cynthia.
Great answer. Great answer.
Yes, that's the idea, right? So we can
improvise.
It is hard, and even for us, it is hard to do that. Let's do some others with some other people. Jaime, next.
Carlos Leon, please. Could you please answer the second question?
Do animals really have a sixth sense? Well, I think that it's true because most of the catastrophic situations, they have the sense that it will come, and I think that is true.
Yeah, right. But that wasn't a minute. You have to talk for a minute or 30 seconds in this case. But then that is the mechanics of the topic. Just the last one.
Rachel Martin. Rachel Martin.
Sure. Okay, so why does the line "you're always in" move the slowest? I think there's two things at work. One is perception. You always notice your own experience more, and it just feels slower because you're in the moment. The other thing is how a crowd follows each other. So if you moved into that line because it looked shorter, maybe a bunch of other people got in the same line because they thought it would be shorter. I know that happens to me in traffic when I am driving. As soon as I change lanes, it seems like that is the slower lane.
Yeah. Okay.
So then next time don't move, Rachel, just stay there.
Stay in the same.
You'd think that would work better, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Where are you from, Rachel? And where are you now?
I'm from the US.
And where are you now based?
I am currently in the state of Montana. So actually my traffic example doesn't apply because I live very rural right now, but I used to live in a big city and I used to live in Lima. So I know about traffic.
Okay, thank you very much, Rachel.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we have these other questions.
I love it. What is Victoria's secret? Mary, you should know.
Victoria's secret is that she doesn't need.
We can talk for hours about that.
Like that to be a very fulfilled, happy human being in life. And that focus on sex, just as sex appeal, is not worth her life. There's so much more to life than that.
Yeah.
All right. So
I want to say something interesting about Victoria's secret.
Please, Patricio,
if
go
I
on.
may, please.
Yes,
If
please
I may.
go on.
Yeah. Just yesterday, I was watching TV, and so there was this news about Victoria's Secret. So from now on, they're gonna choose not only the typical, voluptuous girl with the perfect body and all that stuff, but they're gonna start choosing people women that have done something really remarkable for the sake of young people, kids, etc. So a couple of athletes from the U.S. are there. A soccer player, one of the best, I guess. Then there's a girl that is Chinese American, who is, I think she's an expert in skiing, I think, and 2 or 3 other women from different parts of the world. And so it's amazing. So that is starting to redefine what beauty really is. So it's not only, well, as a man, I could say that those gorgeous girls are perfect, right? I mean, Victoria's angels, but the beauty is not only that. It's empathy with people, is what you do to change in some way and influence people's lives. So you see that from one little question, we can. The point is that we can follow up with.
And you spoke, but you spoke more than 1 minute.
So then he's punished.
Yeah. No, there is another activity I show you. But
well, I just want to mention how Patricio is so up to date with what's happening with Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, I know.
I guess he knows Victoria's Secret.
I know Victoria.
Yeah. I know. Everyone has realized about that.
Yeah. So, and then you have this, when should you reveal a secret? You said you would. You can have these topics from different sources, and that's there. And then one thing that is like from Conversation Inspirations that is published by ProLingua. But also these are the topics I found, like topics, not questions. For example, this and these topics. Right. Okay, Raj, can you do number 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, talk about your hopes for the future. My hopes for the future is that I can develop a vaccine called compassion vaccine and give everybody in the whole world a compassion vaccine so that we'll all be more compassionate and loving with each other and to the earth.
And get together in Costa Rica to get vaccinated.
And that is the reason why, because so we can come and meet each other again.
Yeah. We go from the south and you come from the north and we meet in Costa Rica.
That's right. That's my minute.
All right, and then you do the same, exactly the same mechanics, but in this case it's not a question, but something you have to work with. And then this also, I found this in this Conversation Inspirations book, and then so you can work with it. You can, I got this from, I got my one of my nephews gave it to me from some time ago when she was studying in the States, and it was one of the best presents I've received. Okay, and then you have good or bad or negative. No, I don't know. It's what you have and what you have to do. And then students have to develop their skills. Any comment about this topic of impromptu speeches in general?
Me, in fact, I do. I have picked up journalism for myself during the pandemic because I thought it was a good idea to practice. I write in English and mostly in English there because I knew that I couldn't afford classes back then during the pandemic. So I tend to write about sometimes some of these prompts, but not in oral way, but in written expression. So it has helped me to practice my English. And I think that when it is applied to oral expression, it can actually be a source of inspiration and vocabulary development, enrichment. I think that it can also help students to take a peek or take a look inside themselves as well, because these are ideas that we don't often ask to ourselves. And after they take this inspiration out in the way of ideas, maybe they realize something else about themselves that they didn't know before. So that is also interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you, Cynthia. Great ideas. Nice ideas. You don't say
Where
nice
are you
ideas.
from, Cynthia? Sorry, Edison. Where are you from, Cynthia?
I'm from Guayaquil, Ecuador. I'm a student at Universidad de Guayaquil.
Great to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Then
we are being invaded by people from Guayaquil. I love it.
And from Ecuador, no, because my friends are here. Diana, Pato.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah. So Quito, and then you have this 1, 2, 3, and this is something similar, but in this case, what you have is that at the beginning you work you work in pairs. So you get this topic for one person to talk about in this group, and actually you you have these two topics, and something happened with the color. Just let me check this. I don't know what happened.
That's life, Edison.
Sorry, I know it is.
That's life. That's life.
Yeah, I know it is, and it happens.
That's virtual life.
Virtually, it's life. So it's not virtually. Yeah. What kind of pollution? But and then you talk, for example, they are talking about pollution, one of the topics in class, and then they have to discuss with the person who's next to them about this for 1 minute. And then they change partners and they talk with this other person for 2 minutes. And later they change partners again and talk for about 3 minutes. But you have to time them, okay? You have to be careful about those things and about keeping the time. All right, and then you have these topics. You can ask, okay, you can assign a pair of the two people, the first 2 questions, the two sentences. One discusses one thing and the other one discusses the second thing. And later, when they meet with another group, they discuss the same topic, but they have to elaborate because they need to talk for about 2 minutes. It's like a closing activity after you have worked with the vocabulary and everything included in the lesson. So that is something similar to the impromptu speeches, but just in a way. So then you speak for 1 minute first with one person, then 2 minutes with a second one, and 3 minutes with a third. Yeah, it takes time. It could take a lot of noise in class. It could take also a lot of timekeeping and attention to make them move, because sometimes they don't want to speak with somebody. But it also fosters this idea of shy people who don't speak in large groups can begin working with this, and it is like a beginning step. So they start with somebody, then with another one, and then with a third, then make this. What is a super? Yeah, for example, if you say, what is a superstition? Sorry, that happens. Sometimes when you want to do things, where things get worse, you find more yeah. What is a superstition you believe in? And the second person can have, do you believe in superstitions? So then you can talk. You know, when you are, if you are talking about grammar points, that could be good for conditionals, but also for opinion. And then, okay. Any superstitions you have as teachers?
Superstitions as a teacher. No, I don't think so.
That's good. Right, because the thing is, some teachers say everything depends on the first day of classes, and that is some sort of a superstition. And anything else?
First day is very important, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but is this a superstition or what?
I like to knock on wood if I say something that I don't want it to happen.
Yeah, that is, yeah, everybody has some sort of superstition. And then, so you have those questions. But that's, as we are teachers, what is your opinion about this last one? There should be no homework assigned in schools.
If it's quality homework, I think they should be assigned, but sometimes I had the feeling, when I was a student myself, that the quality of home, I mean, what was the purpose? That's what I asked myself. There was a lack of sense of purpose, if you know what I mean, in some cases. So I suppose that if homework is meaningful, then there's no problem. But the point is, what if it's not?
Okay, so as I said, it depends. It depends on many things. And yeah, I think homework should have a purpose, must have a purpose. And then now I heard the other day that they didn't say homeworks, you know, home tasks. So then changing this definition maybe would change the idea we have or students have about this kind of activities outside the classroom. And then you have this says 2-minute speech topics for children. So then you covered, Luis, what you were saying. Then, so right, I would make a PDF with this information so you can, and I would send it to the group or by Zoom so you can have it. Okay. So you have it. I'll do it as a PDF. I'll send it to as a PDF to the group or via WhatsApp if you want to, and then we can do that. All right.
Yes.
So
and then I will sell it. I will sell it as a material.
Yeah. All right. See. Yeah.
I will get some money.
And then you make more famous.
Yes.
Yourself. Okay. Then. All right. And then you have all these activities. Okay. So then you are safe with children and parents. So we have that. So then.
I don't know if you've done it because I was outside answering a telephone call. I love the superpower. If I had a superpower.
What is your idea of a superpower?
I don't know. I'm afraid.
No, the only superpower I would like to have is to be able to correct faster.
To correct yourself?
No, correct homework faster.
I
love to assign writing things. So I love, and sometimes I'm correcting articles from people. And then, so because I am correcting articles for journal in Ecuador, so then I would like to have this ability to make it faster, but more thoroughly. So, but anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
But
okay.
No more. Maybe a new rule you could make. It depends if it's at home, if it's in school, if it's in parks. Nowadays we have lots of rules to follow because of the pandemic. So that is one thing that we have learned. Okay, and this is another activity. It's yes and. So yes, and for example, you find a partner or form small groups, and one player starts off with a statement and say, "Your cat is so lovely," and the second player may respond, "Yes, and I made it for you." And then the first one responds, "Yes, and I have $1,000 for it." And the second person, "Yes, and I'm going to use that money to make 100 more coats for you." And then this is the second, right? And then you set up a number of exchanges and provide topics for them to use. Okay, say, so you say, your library looks great. Say yes, and something. And then you continue with yes, and, or there is a variation. You can use yes, but, and you add something else to that topic. For example, if I said, I bought a few exciting books for you, what would you say?
Yes, and I will read them as fast as I can. So I will return them to you because I know that you will like to keep them.
Yes, and I'd love them to be well cared, well taken care of. Yes, and?
Yes, and I will, yes, and for sure I will be careful with them and I will enjoy them and I will get the best of them for me.
Yeah, and then you can do that, right? You can depend. It is just like, thank you, Diana. It's for like a brain break and something to change activities from one topic into another. And you can use this thing not very for a long time. Well, next. Thank you, Dianita. Now you have this other activity, and this is called Maestro You Please. So what you do is you play the music.
The sound, Edison, is not all right. We can't hear.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Maybe if you play the guitar, it will be much better.
Okay, we can, oh, sorry. But anyway, it was, it's a song, it's a something, it's a composition, a guitar composition. And then the important thing is now?
No.
No, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But the idea is this, okay, things happen. Then the idea is here is to play some kind of music. And then, yeah, just students just have to listen to it. They don't have to see they are presenting something from the YouTube or something because they are gonna know what it is. Preferably something they don't know. about, and then you have to ask these questions. Where is this music taking place? Who wrote it or who composed it? Where was he or she? What was he thinking about? And do you like this piece? Why? And then, so you can do this with as another warmer and as another brain break you can have. And then that is the idea, right? So you listen to one piece of music and then you ask these questions. So students, and the students can get in the mood to begin the class or change activities. Sorry, so this is about Gobi is the player and the composer. You would love him, how he plays, Jaime, because you love playing the guitar.
Yes, I do.
And then you can you can also play the music in class, and you have all these songs about life for students to interpret the lyrics, to know what they mean, to understand what they say. But also you can, especially in this case of most of the books have to express preferences in music or poetry, not only music, but this other aspect. What time? We have 15 minutes. Okay, so somebody to talk about this that is not Jaime or me?
I was going to.
Okay, Jaime, yeah, okay.
No, I'm joking. Come on. Everyone needs to talk. Rachel, Patricio, Cynthia, Manuel, Luis, Mary, Shoal, Raj, Martha, Dr. Ariana, Ariana, Mayrene, Diana, anyone? Cynthia, Priscilla.
Poem. Would you like to hear it?
Please.
It's called Ode to Socks by Pablo Neruda. You know that one?
No. Go on.
I'll share it with you. It's in English. But he wrote it in Spanish. Maru Mori brought me a pair of socks which she knitted herself with her sheep herder's hands. 2 socks as soft as rabbits. I slipped my feet into them as though 2 cases knitted with threads of twilight and goat skin. Violent socks, my feet were 2 fish made of wool, 2 long sharks, sea blue, shot through by 1 golden thread. 2 immense blackbirds, 2 cannons. My feet were honored in this way by these heavenly socks. They were so handsome. For the first time, my feet seemed to me unacceptable, like 2 decrepit firemen unworthy of that woven fire of those glowing socks. Nevertheless, I resisted to the sharp temptation to save them somewhere, as schoolboys keep fireflies, as learned men collect sacred texts. I resisted the mad impulse to put them into a golden cage and each day give them birdseed and pieces of pink melon. Like explorers in the jungle who hand over the very rare green deer to the spit and eat it with remorse, I stretched out my feet and pulled on the magnificent socks, and then my shoes. The moral of my ode is this: beauty is twice beauty, and what is good is doubly good when it's a matter of 2 socks made of wool in winter.
Wow. Great. Yeah, I love the odes Pablo Neruda wrote, ode to the tomato, ode to anything.
I had never thought how important socks were.
I know, right? I love it. It's a poem I've loved for many, many years, and I don't wear socks very often anymore. But I still love the poem.
Well, now here in Piura it's cold, so I'm wearing them. So now I will kiss them.
But No, but Pura is not called in.
It is called now.
Yeah, I know it is. It is. As you said, we said, it depends because we come from the highlands, so Pura is not called.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, right. And then you do this with your students, and but not only about music. You have to include other aspects of art. We can say painting or something, because otherwise it's students, every single term they speak about music, the music they like, but then you can include other aspects of art, and then they can talk about that. They do this activity, research about the song or poem to answer questions such as, when was it written, by whom, who do you think, why do you think he or she wrote it, and prepare a poster including the song, information, and a comment. And then when you translate language, you can use the poem in the mother tongue, in Spanish, for example. And this is something I like for it. This is the way my students have to present their work. This is a kind of a poster. And then you talk about the author. They talk about the poem itself. You are there to teach English, not to teach them translation. So they use it in Spanish as well. And then why they like it, why they chose that topic of this poem or song. And this song has is great, El Alma en los Labios, because it is not only a poem, but also it's a song, it's a pasillo. So it's being interpreted by many Ecuadorian singers. It's like one of the anthems because we love. I don't know why people in the Sierra, in the highlands, are so melancholic, but this is the things that we like to listen to. This is for, then this is the way. So so you see, this is, and then students have to include the bibliography where they got this information from. Yeah. So this is one way, and students present it. As a walking gallery. Right now, another topic to start a new conversation is we are talking about conditionals. Then you can use this: who is the person in public, government, entertainment, sports, whom you admire the most or the least? Who is an influencer you follow? Explain. And then you have this, these people. If you recognize some of them.
Yeah.
So you have Cher.
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton.
Ozzy Osbourne.
My Facebook friend, the Queen Elizabeth.
Yes, and she's single now, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Edison.
Simon Cowell, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Ozzy Osbourne,
Black
Taylor Swift, Prince Charles. No, it's Prince Charles.
Right, and then who could you like to meet from those? Okay, and then you can ask with younger generations, with younger people, you can ask them to tell them the names of people, celebrities they would like to meet. But then you can ask these questions: whom would you invite for dinner? And you have to choose 4 famous people along with your best friend or partner. So you make you set up a table for 6, you, your friend, or partner, and 4 famous people. And you decide on the seating arrangement, where would it take place, who would be sitting next to whom, what would you have for dinner, appetizer, main dish, sides, drinks, dessert, and why maybe. So if you invite Buddha, Jesus Christ, or some other people, let me say, maybe they are vegetarian. So what would you serve? What would you have for dinner? And then you have this, right? And there are people, I have had students who have chosen, let's say, Jesus and Adolf Hitler, and they sometimes they get with great topics of discussion, and that's the idea. Or they invite just sports figures like Maradona, Pelé, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Messi, and then so that is kind of boring, but that's their choice.
Wow, if you invited Adolf Hitler, Jesus, and Buddha, you would need a translator.
Yeah, but no, that's the idea.
Spanish.
Yeah,
no, so just kidding. That's a wonderful idea. I like this idea very much.
Maybe first I would teach them English. And then you have those, right? And then you could say, why would you choose these people? Why would you serve these, would you choose or serve these dishes? And then they use second conditional and these ideas, right? So that is another option for them to talk. And then with children, it's because of Father's Day. And then they can talk about this person, right? So that's about presenting. And this is something I used to work with. This is one of my classes. And so in order for them to get used to speak in front of larger audiences, I started with smaller groups. I make walking gallery with one person presenting while the others were listening and then they had to ask questions and things, and then all around the same classroom, right? So that is one way for them to feel comfortable while presenting. You start with the smaller groups, you start with couples, then groups of 3, and groups of 4 or 5. And also you have this Pechakucha. It's based on the chit chat in Japanese. Pechakucha is a website, it's a world thing. In this case, in the original version, you present 20 slides with 20 seconds of talk for each. And then for my classes, what I do is that they have to prepare 10 slides with 10 seconds of talk for each. And they can use it as a video or a PowerPoint presentation. So this is Pechakucha. It's something I have used this last semester, last term, because this term, I'm just beginning a new term. So last term that worked for the final project. So it's 10 slides with topics, and the students have to talk 10 seconds for each slide. And then the presentation, one of the examples is this about Fuji-san. So Pechakucha exists in many, there are many groups around the world. You can Google Pechakucha and they are gonna find the website, and if there is one thing in your own town or city. Another thing to make students imagine and talk about is this activity that I took from the learning network from the New York Times. That is, what do you see and what can you imagine? And then you present this to students, and then they have to describe it and also imagine something else. How much time do we have?
Officially, 3 more minutes. But because it's Father's Day, I can give you away 5 more minutes.
Yeah, okay.
As a
So this
present.
is yeah. What do you see at Ancajima? So you can do this with people. Can anybody help me with this?
May I describe
Anyone?
a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see both two people over there, and also a kind of chapel, then a road. At the end of the road, I can see, I think, the sea. There are some houses on each sides, and some plants, the sky. What else? I know. That's I can see. A bell, I think as well.
What can you imagine?
What can I imagine about that?
Yeah.
That maybe it is a touristic place, or what should I have to imagine? It's like, I don't know.
That's why that's
imagine whatever you want.
Yeah,
like,
and this
I
is
think
good.
that could be a touristic place. Yeah.
This is good practice for Cambridge exams, because that's exactly what you get in for big one exam. So they give you, and you have to describe. You have 1 minute to describe it, and you say, "I see a white chapel with and the frame of the door and windows are blue." You have to describe well in detail. If you don't do it, you fail that part. And for B2, then you can imagine. Apart from describing, you imagine, and then maybe blah blah blah. So that is the idea. This also helps for international exams, especially the Cambridge B1 and B2. Okay, so you can say, what can you imagine? You just get the minute and you have to complete it. I have this, you describe it, what you exactly see, but with details. And then you imagine, and you can use can, may, might, something, right? So that is not only to describe and then say, what else do you want me to say? No, it's you what you, right? So you do this activity with your students. And this, what can you infer from the picture? Anyone?
A mother's burden.
A mother's burden, yeah, 1 minute.
It means, to me, it implies, like I said, a mother's burden, which is everything that she has to carry for her child and for herself as well. I can see that she's carrying a laptop, books, some sort of like clothing, and she looks pretty young. So maybe if I could infer, I would say that she's become a mother at a very young age. And so she has to carry behind her lots of things beyond being a mother, being a student as well, or being a child herself too.
Yeah, somebody who's still studying or something. Yeah, and you see that is, and the thing here is me too. It's not only about, it's me. They say here it says me too. Okay, I not only have this, I have not only suffered this, but also I have this burden to bear. Right. So that is then. Thank you. So you try to look for images that foster discussion and imagination and other aspects you want students to develop. More questions. So if you had questions like this is just for closing this. In what ways would life be different if we had no moon? If sleep wasn't necessary? If there were no shadows? If continents were all connected? If nothing fossilized? If you were appointed to public office, what would you have addressed first? So my way of teaching always implies questions because in my opinion, that is the best way to get ideas from your learners. And if you run out of questions, you can list things. For example, list things to believe in. What are some things you believe in?
I believe in the power of love.
Power of love, for example.
I believe in friendship.
Friendship. Yeah, that you'd have two topics to discuss. Silent things.
The sky.
My students.
Students. Some students are silent. Yeah, these things that have no weight.
Love.
Love. Sorry, Jesús.
The soul. The soul.
Soul, yeah.
Soul, air.
Air, yeah. Things that carry a lot of weight.
An engine.
Sorry?
An engine.
A car.
Engine.
Our sins. Our sins.
Yeah, guilt.
Yeah.
Guilt and shame.
Guilt, yeah. Words. Some words.
Regrets.
The pain.
The pain, yeah. Sorrow. They have these things that can be reversed.
Dreams.
Dreams. And then you have to explain why, right? Then, not now, but at some point.
Death.
Death.
The way
can or can be. Can or can't.
That can't.
Can.
Sorry. That would be
can.
Can.
But maybe in Ecuador you can do that. I don't know.
Ways, for example, ways to grow. So by studying.
Come to Edison's session.
Good diet.
Yeah.
Good diet.
Working.
Yeah. Loud things.
Experiences.
Loud things, my neighbors.
Neighbors. Yeah, that happens. We also have some of them. Everybody has one noisy neighbor, I think.
Ambulances.
Ambulances,
My dog.
Yes.
My brain.
Things that can hurt.
Her words. No, just kidding. Like a knife or something like that.
Misunderstandings.
Misunderstanding. Understanding. Fake news. Right? These things that cause warmth.
Love.
Love. Love is everywhere. Right?
Love and compassion.
Hug.
Hugs. Smiles.
Fire.
Yeah, parents, and then you have this. So you have all these things, and then you can get many other topics to discuss about. And students can say, no, and you can say, no, those are not my topics. Those were your topics. So.
Okay.
And I am poem. Yeah, just this, Jaime, and then I.
Yeah, go on.
And describe they make I am poem, write 10 to 12 statements. Students practice saying positive things about themselves. Like Mary is always promoting this, saying positive things about themselves. Read or recite with intonation they prefer. They build empathy by learning about each other and observing commonalities. So he says, this is one of my students. Dianita, can you please read?
Sure. Okay. I'm a teacher.
I am a teacher.
Oh, I am. Yeah, sorry. I am a teacher. I am a woman. I am a dancer. I am Gabriela. I am a child of divorce. I am worried sometimes. I am happy when I am cooking. I am Gabriela. I am a volunteer. I am hopeful. I am grateful for my friends. I am Gabriela.
Yeah, so you see, and then your students can write that. You say, I am, and then you have 12 and they can repeat their names 3 or 4 times. So actually they write 6 or 7, 8 sentences themselves, and they describe themselves with these 12 sentences. And then you get something about your students, and they read it, then discuss it, they discuss the poems with somebody, and that's it. Or you can make a presentation. This is about another of my students. She wanted to present about becoming a mom, and then she made all these things. She didn't use any words in the slides, but she was presenting about, and then she was doing this, and she talked about that. I use, when I have this presentation, I assign a top maximum of 12 words, or so I can ask them to speak and not just read. Yeah, these words are just prompts. And then something to close. How do we engage students in conversation? How often do they speak about something that is not a grammar exercise? What are some other strategies you think work well with your students? And when is the last time you present an idea to your colleagues, like a workshop like this? So that was it, and that's it. And that's it. Thank you.
No, thank you, Edison. If you stop sharing your screen, please, to say goodbye, and thank you. Thank you so much, Edison, on this special day for your presentations. Somebody said it. I also steal your ideas. I also steal some of your ideas, and I present them in my workshops, but I mention where they come from. I always do that. And what I love about your presentations, that they are focused on simple things, but that make us reflect, that make us think, that make us wonder and say, why I never thought about this. Okay, we have 2 minutes to say goodbye. Anybody who wants to say something, a little small comment, please. Mary, Raj, Diana, Luis, Juan Jesus, Manuel, Marta, Mairene, Rachel, Cynthia, Ariana, Lucia, and Anthony. Anyone?
Thanks, Edson. It was really great learning with you. I loved your activities, and I loved just getting your positive energy. I think your students have, I'm sure they have a real wonderful time speaking in your class. It's really, really fun.
Yes, thank you very much. I know you for a long time, and I have many things in my heart that reasons to give, to be thankful about your friendship. Reasons not only for you and for your wife also, because sometimes when we have difficult moments, we receive help from those special people that become sort of angels, and you being an angel, somehow an angel, you and your wife being an angel in my life. So thank you very much. You're a wonderful professional. You give me lights on how to get better, not only on my personal life, but also on my teaching. So thank you, and a big hug, and happy Father's Day for you.
Yeah,
thank you, Dianita. As Edison says, thank you, Dianita.
She's was one of my colleagues, and that was I was trying to mentor her, and it's been good. It's been good.
Okay, one more person, please.
Well,
anyone?
Edison, thank you very much. This was very informative, and I didn't realize how fast the time was going, and the way you facilitated as well is very useful. You model what you want us to learn. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, the people in Zoom Live. And your last words, final words. I always struggle with these 2 words. Your final words.
Final words for today. No, just enjoy the day, enjoy life. I know it's been a year and a half of difficult times, but teaching makes us happy. So let's continue teaching with our hearts. That's the only way to do it well. So your teaching depends on what you have in your heart. So
yes,
thanks a lot for attending, and I hope you to see the second part of, or another topic, another time for sharing with your groups. And that's it. Thank you, Jaime,
okay.
again.
No, thank you, Edison. Thank you, Raj in Canada, and everyone in Ecuador, in Peru, and in Costa Rica, Mary Scholl, Luis Bermudez, and his students, and Edison, and your friends, and everyone there. So see you when? When are we going to see each other again? In June,
No,
in a week, in 2 weeks, I guess. I don't remember, but I let you know. So thank you so much. Have a good day. Have a happy Father's Day, and see you.